needed at all times. It does get pretty bumpy out there. Also, if you look right above your heads, you will see an animal spotting guide. That'll help us find some of the animals we might see out here on the reserve today. We will not see all of them, but I'm going to try my very best to point out as many as I can. Now folks, we just entered the Little Ituri Forest. This is home to many animals that are known to camouflage. They have markings on their bodies that help them blend into their environment, so sometimes they are very hard to see. So make sure to keep your eyes peeled. Now right up here on the left-hand side, that's called a greater kudu. Now I know those are female greater kudu because they do not have horns. Males will have horns. This is also the largest antelope in the forest. They're about 5 feet tall from the shoulder, 55 inches. Also right behind them, laying down on the ground, it's called the bongo. The bongo is also known as the ghost of the forest because they are very rarely ever seen, and they take very deliberate steps to make next to no noise as they walk through the forest. Now way up here on the hill, these very colorful birds here, that's called a saddle-billed stork. Now, saddle-billed stork's a very tall bird. They're about 3 feet tall, but that wingspan is 9 feet long. Also over there on the left-hand side, that is the black rhino. The black rhino is a critically endangered species. There are about 5,000 black rhinos left in the wild. That is because they are being poached for their horns. Their horns are thought to have medicinal value, but they are in fact just made out of the keratin found right in our fingernails and hair.
Fingernails.
So bumpy, huh?
That's why I bite my fingernails. So I don't get poached.
And folks, we saw a lot out here in the forest. There's still a lot of ground to cover, a lot of safari left. So we're going to leave the forest and head into the Safi River. The Safi River is home to many aquatic animals that live in or on the water. So let's go.
Oh, so bumpy.
Do you have any first-time safari riders here with me today? First-time safari riders? There in the back. I see you. I'm so glad you guys chose my safari. I am so flattered out of all the safari drivers you could have chosen. And those of you returning, thank you so much for coming back. Every safari is new and different. We see new things every single time we come out here on the reserve.
Is it too bumpy for you, Jared? Or you like it? Juliet, is it too bumpy for you, baby?
Is your favorite? Is your favorite?
Now right here on the right-hand side, there is the Nile hippopotamus.
Juliet, hippo.
Now, tipping the scales at over 5,000
You see hippo?
pounds,
Julian.
hippos can hold their breath
Right.
for 8 minutes at a time. So they will fully submerge themselves in the water in order to keep themselves cool, really just coming up for air. They will leave the water every so often in order to get food. They'll go a few miles outside the water and then come right back. Now these gray and white birds right there on the island, that's called the pink-backed pelican. There's another hippo right there in the water. But the pink-backed pelican gets its name because they get, during the mating season, they get a pink coloration on their back.
No, it's hippo.
Yeah, that's a hippo.
It's getting a massage. Oh, there's another one right there.
There's another hippo standing up right there in the valley there.
Oh, you see the hippo's butt?
Look to the left as we go on. Now coming around the corner here on the left-hand side is the Nile crocodile. Now it's 16 feet long. These reptiles are cold-blooded, which means they do need to regulate their own body temperature. So you'll see some of them laying down there with their jaws open. You see one right in the middle there. That cools their body down about 15 degrees. Now those jaws are super strong. They can crush 2,000 pounds per square inch. They can crush anything as large as a zebra, but they usually like to keep it local and mainly just eat the fish that live in the water with them. Now crocodiles are known to go months without any food, but when they do finally decide to eat, they will eat up to half their body weight in just one sitting. That's quite the Friday night if you ask me. Now it looks like these trees are thinning here, which means that we're leaving the Safi River and heading into the savannah. The savannah is home to many iconic African animals that you might know, like the giraffe, the lion, and the elephant. As we enter the savannah, savanna here on the right-hand side. This is called the baobab tree. It's also known as the tree of life because it can live 1,000 to 2,000 years, and it can store thousands of gallons of water right inside those trunks. During the dry season, animals live around the baobab tree in order to get some of that water. Now folks, just a reminder, my name is Nina and I'm happy to answer any and all questions that you might have out here on the reserve. Just shout them out and I'll do my very best to give you the best answer I possibly can. Just make sure to keep it about animals because I don't know much about anything else. And can everyone hear me okay in the back? Yeah. Perfect, I got a thumbs up, all good. There's a possibility if whatever's on the spotting guide, there's the possibility that we'll see anything. I can't. I haven't been out here.
Alright, I guess now it's selfie time. Selfie! Yo, mama. Oh, there's something.
Jared ngồi giữa đi.
Done. What are you looking at?
He's talking about the plants.
Hold my hand.
Antelope. You have fun, Jordan?
Now right there on the right, that's called the Patterson's eland, that antelope right there. That's the largest antelope on the savannah. The male is about 6 feet tall from the shoulder and he will literally weigh a ton, 2,000 pounds. That looks like a female because she is a little lighter in color.
Eh? Yeah. It's an antelope.
Oh. Also, right over here on the left, these laying down right on the ground, they're called a sable antelope. Now they are the emblem of our wildlife reserve here at Harambe. They are also a very stubborn animal. In a fight or flight situation, they will almost always choose to fight. Here's a closer look at that Patterson's eland right there. Now, as I said, the male will be a lot bigger, and he also does something I love to talk about. He'll go over to these vines over here, these grasses, wrap his horns in the vines and the foliage, making a flower crown right on his head, because he always likes to look presentable for the female. So he walks around with a flower crown. Those are termite mounds. So termites will make these mounds, and they're hard as concrete, and animals will use them as scratching posts. And then once they're fine down a little bit, antelopes such as these ones will use them as looking points so they can see predators. There's another Patterson's eland right there.
No, you don't want to hold my hand earlier. I'm not going to hold your hand now. I wanted to hold his hand earlier. He didn't let me. Until he got scared when it's bumpy.
Right over here on the right, there's a lot of animals there, so I'm going to start talking now. So the gray ones that are standing up, the ones that don't have the horns, that's a herd of white-bearded wildebeest. Now, has anyone seen a little movie called The Lion King? Oh, good. We have a favorite movie. If you haven't checked it out, go watch it. So that movie was not exaggerating. These wildebeest will travel in herds up to 1.5 million. I'm not going to talk about the scene I'm referring to. Now they can also be referred to as new. That is GNU. That's what they're referred to. That's because that's the sound that they make, just like a cow says moo. They get their actual name from the term that means wild beast. It's an Afrikaans word. Now those animals with the very large horns, that's called the ankole cattle.
Whoa, look at that.
Laying down on the ground and right there. Now those horns are huge. They're about 6 feet from end to end when they're fully grown. And they help with their blood circulation. They have a honeycomb structure right on the inside of those horns that helps circulate their blood through the horns and through that honeycomb structure. Princess, there's a giraffe right here. Now they circulate the blood through the honeycomb structure, cooling off their body and then back into their body, and that acts as a personal air conditioner right on top of their head. We do have the giraffes right over here on the right-hand side. The giraffes are the tallest land mammal in the world. They average about 16 to 20 feet tall when they are fully grown. They spend most of their days eating, and they only sleep 30 minutes a day, and that is because they are, and they're not going to take that all at once. They do have to take short power naps throughout the day, that's about 30 seconds to 5 minutes long. That is because they do have natural cutting back there. You will see it. There's one laying on the ground and then one all the way back standing up. Now that looks like a brand new baby, very, very young. Now when giraffes are born, they're about 6 feet tall. And the first thing they're going to witness in life is gravity, because giraffes do give birth standing up. That's about a 6-foot drop straight to the ground, and they're up and walking in about an hour and a half.
Giraffe. G for giraffe. Oh, your cousin.
Now here on the left, you'll see one of them standing on top of that rock. That's called a mandrill. That's the largest and most colorful species of monkey. The most dominant males will have the most vibrant colors. Now also there on the right hand side, that's the African elephant. Now we know it's an African elephant because those ears are shaped like the continent of Africa.
Oh, right there.
I'm going to try to get a closer look at it right there. It looks like it could be a male because he is all by himself. Males will leave the rest of the herd and they're very early to mid-teens. The herds consist of the females and the juveniles because the males will get a little aggressive, but that's okay. They're more solitary than the rest of the herd. There's a better look at him right there.
E for elephant.
Look for the rest of the herd, but it looks like that road is closed. That is okay. There's this very old bridge that we're going to take over this way. Now it's very old, so if it makes any noise, that should be fine. Just remember, if anything is to go wrong, the person next to you can be used as an excellent life preserver. I'm just going to go really slow. It looks a little crickety here, but the word said it should be okay. And there's a great view of the elephant.
Elephant. E for elephant, Jerry.
And we're good. I honestly didn't think that was going to go very well. That's okay. You guys trust me. We've known each other for a whole 13 minutes and 4 seconds. Not that I'm timing it or anything. But as we say here, keep moving forward. So we can see that there could be some elephant activity around because there are some elephant house markings in the red clay over here. So let's see what we can find. I do see one right here on the left-hand side.
Elephant. Look, Jared.
Now, the main
Elephant.
threat to elephants in the wild is habitat destruction. They are being forced off of their land due to the mining of coltan in the African soil. Now, coltan is a mineral that's found right in our cell phones. So one thing that we can do to help out these elephants is once we get that new iPhone 10 or whatever's coming out next, we can recycle that old cell phone that we're never going to use again. That way we can get the coltan out of the cell phone and not the soil. This is a great way to help the elephants stay on their land. But this is not just a threat to elephants, this is a threat to animals all over the world that are being threatened by habitat destruction, deforestation, and anything of the sort. The way that we can do our part is we can recycle any and all products that can be recycled. That's why the elephants and animals can stay on their land, because every living creature deserves to have somewhere to live.
Oh, here's the other elephant, Jared.
Oh, we're going in the water. Oh, water. I see water, guys. Oh, no. We have a flood.
Water.